All right, y'all know what it is. Hump Day. We're on crazy chaos conversation, and we're gonna go ahead and keep it real with y'all as we always do. And for those y'all just tuning in, if you hadn't had a chance, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment, and also feel free to share. And don't worry about it; it's free. Okay, anything that's free, I feel it's not. Y'all should be that scared to go ahead and do, man, or that it's not really that hard. If you can, just hit the like button, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Because this topic today, we're gonna go ahead and touch on something. I actually went to a gathering this past week, and we're gonna touch on something that I talked to some other people about, and while I was at the gathering, and that is, pertaining to keeping it real in relationships and being upfront, being honest on your first date when you first, go out to be with each other or whatever the case is, because that's normally the step A or the first step for most relationships is, the first date, not just the conversations you may have with him or her over the phone. But that's the question a lot of you, one young lady, she stayed on it all throughout. After we did the social gathering, she just stayed on that one topic of why can't, well, I'm not gonna name her, but she was picking it at the men, the fellas. Why can't men be honest, be upfront when they first meet the right woman? And you know me, I'm always playing the devil's advocate. I had to give her assets, something to think about. But yeah, again, chaos conversation. If you guys get a chance, also feel free to give us a call. Again, the number, man, give y'all the number 984-464-0688. And we're going to just put you on speaker and let you speak your mind on this topic right here. Because let's just go ahead and get down to it. Keeping it real. Okay. When you guys want to hold on one second, let me make sure I get this right now. It's damn technology, man. Keeping it real. When it comes to keeping it real, a lot of people, I'll just be honest with you, what I'm finding, what I'm coming across, what I'm even experiencing my damn self is when a lot of you all want a man to keep it real. Okay, ladies, you all want the man to keep it real. No problem. Okay, but here's my question. Why are you all leading by the example, ladies? Why are you guys not leading by the example of keeping it real for your damn selves? Because what I had to ask this group of young ladies, I had this one woman who had this question when she was like, why can't men keep it real? I said, well, okay, there was her and her three friends. I was like, well, why can't y'all keep it real? And of course, they all try to jump me. And when they did that, I was just like, man, listen. They were like, I said, it's keeping it real, disguising yourself to make you appear as though you're someone you're not. And they all gave me the same answer. No, 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 and no. I said, okay, ladies. So, I mean, I could even see a couple of them there. They had on, the weave, the wigs, the nails, the makeup, and, the lashes and all the other stuff. But I mean, to each his own. To me, if that's what gives a woman confidence, then that's what gives a woman confidence. I don't have anything against it. However, when a woman wants a man to be real with her, but she's coming at him like that, that's why I feel she should go ahead and lead by the example that she also expects in return. I'm gonna let that sink into some of y'all, because I don't think too many of y'all even got that. Hold on. She has to be. Hope it didn't kick me out. I hope it didn't. But she has to be the example that she wants him. There it is. Yeah, she has to be the example she also wants him to come at her with. So, in other words, if a woman's not giving herself too much self-respect, she can't expect but so much respect from a man either, because she's not going to get it. And then what kills me is when I see a lot of young ladies don't give herself the amount of respect she deserves or the amount of respect she feels she wants from a man. But then all of a sudden, this right man will come. This man of her, this delusional dream or idea of a man that she has. All of a sudden, the man might present himself at who knows, a bowling alley, a store, a gathering, wherever, church. But then all of a sudden, she will try to act right for that man. Again, act. That's not who she is, but she will try to act all good, all right for this one man who's not even the one for her. And I just said, a lot of you all will act right for this one you think is the one, but you won't be your normal self. But as soon as that man leaves leaves, your presence, it's like you go right back to being a bit, just a little bit of not fully respectful to your own self. But then whatever man tries to talk to you, you want this man to have this utmost respect for you that you don't even have for yourself. But going back to answer this young lady's question, which is what I'm going to share with y'all now, is when a woman says she don't want a man to put on no act for her. She wants him to be himself. She wants him to have all the stuff that she claims she wants and deserves in a man. Okay, but let me hit the rewind button for just a little bit. When I asked a group of women, "Hey, would you accept a man who had on, dreads or a wig or a weave that wasn't his? Would you want him to come at you like that? Would you take a man who's being honest and says he has on, he has green eyes, but really he has on contacts and his eyes are really blue? Would you want a man to hide that, keep that from you? Would you want a man to to have on a beard or a goatee and it not really be his? Would you want a man to, present himself to you like that? Would you want a man who, I don't know, has on a prosthetic arm, prosthetic leg, and don't even keep it real with you that it's prosthetic? Would you want a man like that? Could you handle a man like that? Could you be with a man like that? All of them keep saying no. Okay, let me take it a step further. Ladies, could you be with a man who claims to have on some tattoos, but they're all fake? Would you want a man to keep, come at you like that? I mean, when you may see him at the gym, you may see him wherever, but he has a bunch of tattoos to attract you because one of them happens to be your name or some mess like that. Okay. Do you want a man? Could you handle a man? Could you be with a man like that? Again, we're talking about honesty, being upfront. And the last but not least, ladies, could you be with a man? How long could you be with a man who had on shoe lifts and he appeared to be 6'2", 6'4", but after the shoe lifts come off, he's only like 5'10" to 6 even? Could you really be with a man like that? Because a lot of you all, and when I asked a group of young ladies that, they're like, no, that's lying. I'm like, hold up now. Some of y'all at this table are lying to us then. Look at you. I don't know if you guys are wearing it because you guys want to have confidence in you. It gives you confidence, or what the hell? Why you guys have on, the weave, the nails, the eyelashes, the makeup, and, a lot of other things going on. But you guys are sitting here lying. You're sitting here telling me right here to my face at this gathering that you don't want a man who has on the shoe lifts, a prosthetic eye, prosthetic leg, prosthetic arm, fake beard, fake goatee, fake wig, fake hair. You don't want him to have any of that, fake tattoos. You don't want a man to have none of that, but you can have it because it gives you confidence. Okay, why can't I give a man? I mean, even though I'll be wearing no mess like that. I mean, I'm down any man that does. But why can't I give a man confidence then? But you want a man to be upfront also. Okay, well, you just told me that for the 4 young ladies that were at the table, they were like, well, no, that's faking who you are. I was like, okay, ladies, but you guys fake who you are all the time. And so do many other women. And I mean, it's come to the point where it's okay now because it gives them confidence. That's how they want to look. They want to look good or whatever the case is. Fine. But ladies take it a bit further when they be getting the BBLs. Sometimes it gives them the same thing. It gives them confidence. They want a BBL. Fine. But I can almost give you my word. This is not the case with all men. I'm going to say about 8.5 to 9 out of 10 men, they like the BBLs to probably smash and play with, but they don't like the BBLs on a woman, to wife her up and fully respect her. There might be some that say they do. Well, they have to show. He'd have to show it without cheating and be with a woman for the rest of his life to prove me wrong on that. Because a lot of times, men, they see that, they like it, they're entertained by it, and he want to go smash that, tell the world, tell social media his accomplishments, and then find a way to let her go in any way he could think of. Some women, I understand, give y'all confidence and you like it, and you try to compete with other women to get compliments and things of that nature. But that is honestly, when I was talking to the group of young ladies, they were like, that to me and many other men is just as bad as either not lying, it may not be lying, but it is playing around with the truth and not being completely honest of who you are. If you ask 10 men, would they rather be with a woman who has BBLs or who is all natural? I can almost give you my word, more than half of them will say all natural. Because if he's going to hold you at night, he don't want to hold on to no toy or something that feels like a toy, or something that feels, I don't even know how all that BBLs feel. I never felt on one, but he don't want to hold on to something that's not real. So being ladies, for those of y'all who like this young lady I met at the gathering, and you want honesty, again, you got anything you want to state, feel free to dial in 984-464-0688 and let me know what you got to say, because this right here is a topic that a lot of men and women, it goes both ways, but I'll be honest with you, more men have to deal with, the hair, the nails, the lashes, the makeup, the BBLs. A lot more men deal with that just because. And a lot of men like myself, 42, I don't even reach out for women who are younger than me. Some women who are younger than me do reach out to me, and I'll just see what they're about. Of course, I'll see what her age is, and I'll give her a fair shot if she reaches an age limit. However, women my age, a lot of them may, 42 is not old to me. There was when I was a child, but it's not now. Ever since I turned 20, 42 is not old to me. But a lot of women, you all want the man to be honest because you're at this point in your career where the next man you date or the next man you commit to is going to be your husband. That's where I am, as far as having a wife, having a woman, but I'm being patient. But at the same time, ladies, if you don't want men to be playing around with the truth or lying to you, or if you want them to be upfront, one of the best things you can do is lead by example for and on yourself. If having everything I just mentioned, the weave, the nails, the lashes, the makeup, if all that's will give you confidence, fine. I don't know what else to tell you. But the man that you want the self-love for, the self-respect for, trust me, somebody's always watching you. Somebody's always watching you. And when they see that, I'm not saying you won't get a compliment. I'm not saying you don't look good on you or none of that. What I am saying, though, is that when you do a little bit too much on yourself, that is when you will have men who will start to play your game on you and with you. Meaning he's still going to compliment you that you have on, hey, your hair looks nice, hey, your nails look nice, hey, your makeup looks good, whatever the case is. He's going to go with the flow. He will. Most men will. However, when he sees you without it, give him time, just like you gave him time, while you had the makeup and other wear on, give him time to give you the compliment of your real, your all natural your all without having makeup on, your beauty without your makeup and everything else. And you will be able to feel the energy in the room or the energy between you and him if he means it or not. Whether I know some men will just say it just to be saying it, and they don't even mean it. They just say because they know you want to hear it. But trust me, that's when you'll be able to feel that click, that connection, that chemistry, and the other things you guys share in common. But ladies, when you want men to be upfront and honest with you, someone like myself, I am. I'm upfront and honest, whether it's what you want to hear or not. I remember one time I was with a woman and she asked me, did these jeans make me look fat? And I was like, honestly, love, yeah, they do. And I was just keeping it real with her to the point where it made her start coming to the gym. At the time I was going to Planet Fitness, but it made her start going to the gym with me. And she did lose a few pounds from that, but it was all because I was upfront and I was honest with her. And now fellas, let's go ahead and turn the tables for a second. If you do want a woman to be upfront honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, this goes for all of us. Let's say you want to keep it real, and let's say you're HIV positive. Now that is something to be honest about, hands down, because this is someone else's life that you may be putting at risk. So small stuff like that, everything's going to add up when it comes to being honest. And then how a lot of men say, well, women can't handle honesty, women can't handle the truth. I'll give y'all a story. I don't know how I even came across it. I never heard one pastor speak on this either. This is just something because I still read the Bible every now and then just for a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of knowledge that I can share here and there. Here's one thing I just found interesting. Going back to that Adam and Eve story. And it's like, okay, people want honesty. This young lady says she wants honesty. Okay. She wants men to keep it real. Okay. She wants the truth. And I had to ask her, okay, well, what's the difference for her between the truth and the facts? And she said the same thing I kind of helped her a little bit. But she was like, yeah, I want the truth. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go back to the biblical terms for just a second. I ain't no preacher. I ain't got none of that. So this is just to hope y'all put you on the same page. If I'm not mistaken, it was God that told Adam. He didn't tell Eve. God spoke to man, told Adam not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Right? So then God gives him a wife, gives him his woman, and it doesn't say that Adam told Eve, but I'm sure she had a pretty good idea. Or why would she hesitate, right? So Adam, God told man, I'm pretty sure man told woman not to eat from the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? But all of this is how I say a lot of women don't like to take the truth, because the truth is what God spoke to Adam and supposedly Eve knew about. But then here comes the serpent, not being honest with the woman, somewhat lying to the woman, and look what happens. She takes action. And some women are still to this day the same way. The truth may be told to her, but that's not what she wants to hear. She'll take action on what she wants to hear, which is either the man playing around with the truth, or the man flipping the truth, or the man just not being honest, and it'll get her to take action. It's the same thing. It's the same way. It's a little bit, time has passed. What's it called? It's a new, there's a new way to put it. The men put it to women to get what he wants, but at the same time, it's like men being honest, men being upfront, men putting it all on the table of what his intentions are, or what he plans to do, or what he's looking for. When a man is too honest with some women, she don't take it that well. Don't ask me why, because I couldn't tell you. But ladies, for a lot of y'all who are like this young lady that's gathering, and you want men to be honest with you, be sure you're ready and prepared for it. Don't just want it just because you're curious. Be ready, as in be serious enough with yourself and with him that you'll take it in consideration if he decides to keep it real with you. Because, once he does, and then you want to sit here and you want to complain, or you want to say whatever reason, oh, that's why he ain't my kind, well, he ain't my type, well, he ain't my preference, because he's honest with you up front, and then you want to find a way to avoid him in every nice way you can think of. And in that same group, I'm not going to mention this young lady's name either, but there have been times where I think I heard her talk about, well, she had a man be honest with her, and then she didn't take it that well. And next thing she knew, she told us that she saw him with another woman at another location. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen. You can't always blame the man. If you want honesty, then you have to be willing to receive it. And a lot of you all are not willing to receive it. I mean, I know women who's like, all right, be honest with me on this. And then I'll go back to the story I told y'all a few shows ago. There was a woman I knew of who, the man was not honest. He was schizophrenic, and he never told her. He never told her. They had a child together, and they got married months after. But that was the one thing. Now, having a mental health issue like that is another thing. Male or female, you should come up and be upfront and be honest with your other half on, or your man, your woman, whoever you're with. If you have a mental health issue, there's, again, bipolarism, schizophreniaism, narcissism, split personality, bipolar. If you have any of those things and you are aware of it, you are certainly aware of it, then damn it, you should let your partner know, because that right there is going to lead to nothing but chaos on the real. And I mean chaos as in breakup, as in, well, why didn't you tell me? And you mess. A lot of you all who I've spoken with in the past just tell me, hey, well, they never asked. Well, come on. How is somebody supposed to ask you? I mean, there are ways he or she can, but where's the that goes back to, again, that you don't give yourself any self-love, self-control, self-discipline, self-respect. You can't expect the other party to. You really can't expect anyone to. That's one issue within this group and many other groups I've been on, even on social media. I'm in some groups where they talk about being honest with something. Now, if you're just dating a person, you ain't got to tell this person everything, by no means. But when you're serious about, hey, I'm serious about starting a family. Hey, I'm serious about, moving forward with this person, you should, I say, be honest as you're having conversations. You sit here on the phone with this person, and this person brings up a certain topic. Okay, well, go ahead and share as much about that topic as you can if it relates to something you feel is time. If you feel it's time for this other party to know, like, hey, I have a child. This person may not have ever asked you if you have a child. This person may not have it, but they just happen to ask you a question that's in that it's in that field of having a family, having a child. And once they ask you that, that's when the honesty, this young lady that I met at the gathering, that's the honesty she's talking about. You ain't got to put it all on the table at one time. But when the time presents itself and you can see yourself being with this person, you can see yourself moving forward with this person, it's what I call letting the moment find the two of you. That doesn't always mean it's, time for you to make a serious deep move, like commit to her or pop the question or nothing like that. No, the moment to me is always God's time. That's the moment to me. And when you're out here and when you're in the dating, on the dating phase, I mean, you don't have to put it all out there. But when you're you both can see each other going into the commitment field, that is when you're going to start putting a lot on the table for them to, make strong decisions off of. Like, hey, some people don't like, I ran into guys, men and women, who just don't like to be with another party who's ever been married before. I don't know where they get that from. I don't know why. That's just how they feel. What can who am I to say? Again, there's no rule books to relationships, but when I'm in these small groups like I was this past weekend or so, that is when I find that a lot of people just, how we do. We always have small adult conversations, and then some people recognized me from the group, some people didn't, but everybody kept waiting on me. Matter of fact, there was this other our guest today was supposed to be, I believe her name is Keisha. She actually just kept stopping everybody at the event and asking the same question. And we're gonna get to her question, after we finish this topic, as far as being honest, being upfront, and not hiding anything. But once again, and this is what I told Keisha, and I'll tell everybody all day, every day. You are only going to attract a person who is as close to perfect as you are. As close to perfect as you are. Now, none of us are perfect. We all get that. But male or female, and when I say that, in other words, you may be a person who has issues with authority. Okay, you're gonna attract somebody who may not have issues with authority, but they are gonna have other issues in that category. As far as, I don't know, they may be OCD. You may not be. But you're always gonna attract somebody, who has similar issues to what you do. And again, who's as close to perfect as you are. And when you attract that one person, male or female, it don't matter, if he or she is your preference. Again, if you still can see yourself marrying this person, the mental health check is still the number one key to consider. Let's say they get past that. You all are still always going to, when it comes to relationships, of you being serious of marrying this person, it can be something as they have a child and they feel their child comes first before you do, even though you're only committed to him or her. That's their child. That's never going to stop being their child. So, of course, they have that every right. But at the same time, when you attract a person who's going to be as close to perfect as you are, I'm going to go ahead and go to this next topic, question 2. Her thing was, I don't even know why it bothered her this much. I just kept looking at her talk, and this other guy at this gathering, he was trying to, share some info with her. He just kind of offended her. But her thing was, why are men or women single for 3 or 4 months? She didn't seem to think that person was worthy of being a man, being a woman, being a wife, being a husband, if they had been single for 3 or 4 months. And I tried telling her, I've been single for almost a decade now. Done a lot of dating. Just, I haven't met the woman who wants to be able to give us a family. So I let her go. Some women have just stepped away saying she can't give me a family. Appreciate the date. Had a good time. See you around. I'm like, all right. And in those times, I appreciate a woman being honest, being upfront, as we just talked about, being, honest of who, that she can't have. She can't have. Some women just didn't want any more kids. Some women couldn't have any more kids. So it's like that's the part of being honest, being upfront, from the start. I mean, everybody, we all at different stages in our career and in life. Some people my age, some women my age can still have a child. I get it. Some men my age don't want no more kids. Some men my age like, nope, I'm 40 plus, don't have any, don't want any. It's too late. Normally for men, it's not too late to have a child. But for women, normally the age she likes to stop having kids completely is around 40. Anywhere from 5 years, anywhere from 2 to 5 years, from 38 to at least 45. Women are normally done having kids. Most of them can't have anymore. Some still can, but yeah, the whole point was for what this young lady was talking about when she's like, well, this man's been single, this man's woman been single for 4 years. Why? What's going on? What's up with him? I'm sitting there listening to her talk to everybody around me, and it's just like I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. All I can say is a lot of us who are single and we're not in any relationships, the best thing to do, see if I have any. No, I don't have it with me. The best thing to do is get some personal development in. I mean, go ahead and read a book or two. Think and Grow Rich, or How to Win Friends and Influence People. Any book, any inspirational book that can help you in your relationship. That's the best thing you can do while you're single. But with this young lady, she just felt a man being single, because she's a female, straight female, a male being single for 4+ months, 4+ years, is crazy. And I'm just like, woman, listen, I've been single for 10. What you trying to say? I mean, I'm not desperate one bit. Some men are. I know some men and some women, they just can't live without a spouse, without a partner. That's just who they are. I'm not like that, but I know people like that. I'm close friends with people who are like that. Not everybody's the same, though. But she just kept rattling. She just kept going on and on. And like I said, some other guy who was trying to talk to her, and he just called her a few names. I'm not sure that pissed her off even more. But ladies, listen up. When a man is trying to give you other men's point of view, sometimes the best thing you can do is just keep quiet and hear him out. Like me, I kept quiet the whole time. I just kept looking at her conversation with all these other people's conversation. She kept saying she was going to get back to me. And the minute I started talking to her, she walked off. But I mean, that's just, it's just a social gathering. But yeah, in the meantime, whenever if you're wondering, if you have these limits to, hey, you won't be with a man, you won't be with a woman who's been single for X amount of years or X amount of months. That's being a bit unrealistic to yourself once again, ladies. Fellas, I don't know if you're like that. I haven't talked to too many of you all like that who won't be with a woman if she's been single for 4 months or 4 years. But I have speaking with this young lady. Sometimes some of y'all I'll be wondering that too. I'll be reading your comments on social media when you're wondering, hey, well, why is this man like myself, or is this man here or that young lady, why are they being single? Sometimes people just need some me time. Okay, they need time to themselves. It's called peace. They just need some peace to themselves. And everybody, like I said, there's no certain time limit. There's no certain rule book on how much time a man or woman needs. But when a man or a woman needs that time, the best thing you can do is do a little electric slide to the left, to the right. I don't care. Just get it his way. Because when he's ready, he'll come forward. That doesn't mean when he comes forward, he's always, hey, well, I thought you said you were looking. I thought you said you were doing this, doing that, sir. Hey, sometimes he may get the door closed on him. Sometimes women may not even answer the door. He may go around here. You ain't my kind. You ain't my type. Well, you ain't my preference. All right. Well, sometimes that man just go ahead and he'll just keep doing him. Because everywhere he goes, he keeps getting similar answers. So hey, when you with a man like that, it's just like, hey, be honest. Would you guys rather him keep knocking? Because sometimes men get tired of that. Sometimes it costs them too. And when it costs them, and a lot of times you'll see men who are single out here, ladies, because you live him being single. The same one that I didn't go too much in detail with this young lady, but the same one's wondering, well, why are these men going overseas? Or why is this man go in this direction for love. And, you know, what about us? You know, and then you want to call him all these names because he goes overseas, or he goes to another race, even though to me there's only the human race. He goes to another race to find love, and here you are with all this name calling and picking him off social media because he's like that dude Alfonso from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He finds him a wife somewhere else outside his backyard, and you guys like, well, why? Sometimes it'd be like Michael Jordan, go find him a wife outside his, you know, who's not as wealthy as he is, who's not even, you know, same race as he is, but he's happy. Some men, a lot of men, that's the main thing they look for, just being happy, and that's what life is about, just being happy. But to sit here and complain, you know, he's been married for, you know, he's been single for 4 months, 4 years, 4 or 5, whatever. Ladies, hear me out. Your time for a man is not always his time for himself. And no one, you sure don't, there's no one in hell you can convince me you know a man that you just met better than he knows himself. If he feels he needs time off, let him have it. I know how some women are. You don't want to have this man on the radar and there's more than one woman chasing him or after him, and you're afraid that if he has too much time alone, that either some other woman's going to get his ass, or you might lose him one way or another, or he may not choose you. And I get that. And some fellows, you know, they're the same way. There's this, you know, I don't know, there's a cheerleader. Oh, who is that? Oh, let me see. Boy, people just messing you all day, every day. But there's always somebody out here for someone. It's just everybody's timing is different. But again, when a person feels they need time off, best I can tell y'all is let him or her have it. I mean, there's been times even I've taken time off, and it's not so much that I was, you know, heartbroken. None of that. It's just it gets tiring. It gets tiring. One thing about one thing about being in the single group and the single game is, man, it gets very damn addicting. I mean, because you're at peace, you can go where you want, do what you want. But relationships, they have taken a shift. But one thing about relationships is there's always going to be a sacrifice. It's not going to be, and that's another thing. A lot of people who are single and been single for so long, like myself and many others, we start to get into patterns, and we get so used to the pattern of the daily living that, you know what, we just don't want to go out of our way for anybody. We like the pattern that we're on. We like to get up when we have to, get up when we need to, get up when we want to. But after you get a partner, after you get a child, a lot of that mess goes out. I ain't gonna say it goes out the door, but a lot of that is what people are also not afraid of, but they don't want to. It's like they don't want to lose the lifestyle they've been living. That's why I hear women say, who tell me sometimes, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm okay. Sometimes I think she be lying her ass off, but a lot of women say that, and some men, they'll tell women that the same way. You know, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm okay. We're not looking for too much more responsibility than what we have. We're also not looking for anything or anyone that's going to stress us out. Not saying we're trying to judge her, but I'm going to leave that topic at that. When a man or a woman says he or she needs time, or just because they've had a lot of time to him or herself, you may see him out in the community always by themselves. That doesn't mean that, you know, he or she is not a wifey or husband material. Sometimes it's, yeah, because me, again, I'm in sales, and a person can say, until a person says no, I will keep pursuing that person. I won't pester them to death, but I will keep pursuing that person to see if I can fulfill their needs until they say no. Because to me, when a person doesn't say no, all they're telling me is I have not shown them enough information that has convinced them to say yes. And in relationships, it's almost the same way. Ladies, you might see a man at church, you might see a man at the store, you might see a man at your job, wherever. He's always alone when he goes to his car. He's always alone when you see him in the community. That doesn't mean he's not husband material. It just means the right one, but and it just means the right one hasn't crossed paths with him yet, or hasn't connected, and had too much chemistry or things in common with him. That's really all that means. That's really all it means. Oh Lord. Oh, okay. Check this out. Here go a question out the blue. I don't know how it came on, on social media, but here goes the question out the blue. Do men like women who approach them? Good question. Good question. Do men like women who approach them? I'm gonna say like this, ladies. For all y'all tuning in, again, if you guys want to leave a comment, go ahead. But if you want to dial in 984-464-0688 and let me know what you think about this. This is just again talking to others, being a man myself. Who do I mind if a woman approaches me? That happened to me at the Cheesecake Factory a couple of weekends ago. I ordered my cheesecake and then I wait in line, but I stood right beside there was two registers and there was one closed. I stood right in front of the register that was closed and just wrote in my journal and waited on my cheesecake. All of a sudden, some young lady, I think she just ordered her. She was like one or two. She was like behind me in line, like two people behind me, second or third behind me in line. I can't remember, but she sees me writing my journal, and then she just sits right there next to me. I was standing up, but she sits right next to me and asked me, was I writing music or poetry? I just said no. Now, see, that was her approach. Do I mind if a woman approaches me? I mean, I'm all into. I got the same journal. I got the same journal right here. I was all into the journal. I wasn't even really looking too much around. I had shades on too, even though I was indoors. And it probably shook her up a little bit after she stopped me because we started communicating. We started talking a little bit about religion and spirituality. Then she asked me, could I take the shades off? And I didn't. I just said, no, not yet. I will, And then my cheesecake came and hers came right behind mine. So then I walked her out to her car, opened the first door for her, opened the second door for her. We still talking. And her truck was parked like, not even 10 feet away. So I walked her there and we stood outside her truck for a little bit and talked. And I wasn't sure when we were quite finished, but she asked me, could I take the shades off again? I said, like, you know what? As soon as you give me a call, here's my number. I gave her my card, business card. And she had some people with her in the car. I didn't. And then she asked me, could I open her car door? I'm like, yeah, sure. Because last time I touched a woman's car door, she threw a fit because I guess it was a Cadillac Escalade and she didn't approve of it. That's why I didn't touch her car door until she okayed it. Because I guess that's probably my fault because of the previous experience. But anyway, I give her my card, but I'm not sure why, but she hasn't reached out. I ain't mad at her. It's a numbers game. But at the same time, I'm not sure if she hasn't reached out because she lost it or she, me not taking the shades off was that big of an issue to her. Don't know. I ain't got time to care either. But my whole point there was her approach. She didn't try to play lazy. If you're going to approach a man, I'll say like this. You can approach a man, ladies, but do not try to play the masculine role. That's what men don't like. Well, I can say men don't. Most men don't like when you try to play the masculine role, try to play his role. Let him play his role. What I mean by that is, like, she can approach me. She can show it. That's showing a sign of interest. Ladies, you can show a sign of interest. I've said this before too in a show last year. Let's say, ladies, you were at a sports bar and you see, there's diversity throughout the room, but you see like 4 or 5 guys at the bar. They're all watching TV, and you have to walk past them to get to the ladies' room or something like that. You can show a sign of interest by walking past all 4 or 5 men, but only eyeing down the man that you're feeling because of what you see or what you may hear. He may be making your ass laugh like crazy while he's watching the game. He's not doing it to make you laugh, but he's just being himself. And if this one guy catches your attention, you can show body language and show a sign of interest by him being the only one that you eye down. Well, why is he the only one you're eyeing down? Because he's the only one you're interested in. That is somewhat of an approach. It's not up there. Hey man, so I think you're cute, sir. Can I get your phone number so we can hang out one day and go to dinner? That's too much. But some men, that's how easy it is to show body language, walking, and show eye contact. Now, if he don't want to make eye contact with you, that might be a clue that he either having a bad day, may or may not be feeling you like that, or may not be thinking of sharing the same energy, showing showing the same energy in you that you have for him. That doesn't mean he's not interested in you at all. It's just, again, can you show body language? Can you show eye contact? Can you? That's an approach right there. It's not a physical approach though. But out of all the 4 or 5 men, why is this one the only one you're eyeing down? That is a way. Yeah, women can show approaches, can approach a man. Now, if let's say he has his back turned towards you the whole time and don't even look at you, but you can see him, you can hear him. You can, again, let's take the same four or 5 men at the bar. You can go up to him and ask him, excuse me, sir. I mean, ask him a simple question. Do you know what time it is? Hey, what team you going for? Keep it simple, but don't try to ask for his number. Don't try to set the date. Don't try to do too much without him playing his role. That is when a lot of men will say there's too much masculinity coming out of you when you do that. And I'm just keeping it real. When you want a man to who may or may not have interest in you, showing too much masculinity towards him or in him can sometimes be a turnoff. And I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 out of 10 times it can be a turnoff, because that's what a lot of men will look at it as a woman being too over aggressive, and that's just not. Just imagine. Okay, and I'm gonna say like this, just imagine, lady, like I said on a show last year. Would you want a man who's too feminine? If you want to answer the question, again, 984-464-0688. Ladies, would you want a man to approach you who is too feminine? Wouldn't that be a turnoff? If a man approached you with a daggone Michael Jackson, early 80s Mike Tyson voice, you know what I'm saying? And he try to approach you like this right here. Even I can't talk like him like that. But he approaches you and he shows too much femininity. Damn it, that is a turnoff for a lot of women. Well, guess what? It is just as much of a turnoff. Hopefully this answers the question, your question too, man. It is just as much of a turnoff of a man considering a woman who shows him too much masculinity. And you just met the man, or you probably seen the man at Food Line. Next thing you know, he's at the sports bar, he's with the mall, wherever you see him at, and you keep running across him, and you're picking up signs to yourself that this may be a good man to be with, because you keep seeing him, and you don't see no wedding band on, you don't see no other woman with him, and he's cross your path, and you might be picking up some of those clues, but he ain't picking up none of them. So when you approach a man too hard, too fast, too much, it's gonna throw some men off. He's not intimidated by you. He's not scared of you. None of that mess. It's just you have to let him play his role. And sometimes, like I said earlier, he's not always going to pick up on the fact that you're, attractive. You find him attractive. He's not always going to pick up on that. There are some men like, excuse me, sir, do you have the time? Yeah, it's 8:15, and that's all he's going to do. Sometimes you might have to show another sign of interest. So, again, like I said, but if a man's having a bad day, some man, it's not that he's not interested, he's not intimidated, he's not scared of you, he's just having a bad day, and he don't want to take out like me. If we're frustrated, pissed off, whatever, we do not like to bring negative energy around others. That's just who some men are. So when he does that, damn it, you can't sit here and be too hard on yourself, talking about, oh, you're not attractive, oh, this or that, or why men this. Nah, it's just sometimes that's just life in general. That's just life, period. Women go through it too. Because I've talked to them. Some women just be like, you know what? They dress down, they put a mess over their head, a bomb, whatever it's called, and they just go out because they dress down in sweats and flip flops, and they don't even dress up at all because she don't want to be bothered. And some men, they're the same way. He just don't want to be bothered. So when that takes place, the least you can do, if you do have a card, is you see him or whatever the case is. I talked with a woman one time, and she kept seeing the same guy at what was the place called? IHOP. She would always see the same guy at IHOP. She would go there for one reason. He was there for whatever reason, and she just said she could never get to him. She would try to go into the ladies' room and doing other things to make eye contact with this guy. She just could never catch him. Finally, one day, she worked for a law firm, but finally one day she just gave the waitress her card to give to him, because she's like, she don't want to approach and be too aggressive, be too anything. And it was always when I spoke with her, she was like, it was always when I was on my way out. So I was like, okay, so but it turns out after she made her move, He didn't call her for about another almost a month. She said, she said like 2 or 3 weeks. So, all right, ladies, there you go. If you show interest in a man and he don't call you right away, once again, that does not mean he has no interest in you. You have to consider he may have other things going on. That's why dating and commitment is a numbers game. I mean, commitment is something different, but especially when you're exclusive. But and that's why dating is to collect the data, give data out, take data in. That's the whole point of dating. And it's like it has gotten a little bit more difficult. Yeah, a little more difficult. It has gotten a lot more difficult though, I'll be honest, on dating. I mean, even me. I'm not I'm okay with dating here and there. I don't commit to any of them. I'm always upfront. There's been times I've been on dates and other women who want to, go on a date with me about 4 or 5 days or next week or whenever, they'll call and, see if we're still not call. They'll call, text, and see if we're still on. Sometimes they'll call, but I'll, ignore it and just and get back with her later. Because the person I'm with is the person who has my undivided. The woman I'm with is the one who has my undivided attention. But dating here in these days, it's not what it used to be. It certainly isn't. And me, I'm always the kind who I'm dating with a purpose. But a lot of women I've dated, they know, hey, I see you. One thing we'll talk about real deep is we won't always talk about over the phone. So what we're going to talk about, in person is the fact that I would like at least one child of my own. But I prefer my heart desires to be married before I force that child, you know, to live with me. So she'll be like, well, I enjoyed dinner. I enjoyed, doing this. I enjoyed that. One time I took a woman to a gun range, and she was competitive. She liked the gun range. Took one woman to a gym one time because she was competitive. She just liked the gym. I've taken plenty of women out to eat, but she like, no, I do apologize. Um, I see how much you love kids. I see how serious you are about one, but I will not be able to give you one. All I can say is, I appreciate her honesty, her being upfront, like we spoke with him just previously, and we just move on. And I've seen a couple of them in public with other men. And I don't do nothing. I just look at them and wave and say hi. There's nothing. What can I do? Nothing but be happy for them. Nothing but be happy for them. And that's another thing here. And who is it? Oh, that's not for the show. That's another thing here in life. I mean, there's plenty of women out here. There's plenty of men out here. But a lot of you all, and me myself included, when I do a mental health check on a person, on a woman, it is because of where I'm at in my life. And it's also because of previous experience and speaking with others around me who don't do the mental health check. And then they wonder why the hell or how the hell did I end up with this man, this woman like this right here? I mean, I don't believe in divorce for myself. If others have to go through divorce, that's them, that's them. I mean, for me, I'm not one who's going to get married just to get divorced so I can have a title of being a husband or have a title of being a dad. No, that's just not the role I'm going to take. And so when I do a mental health check, there's been plenty of women that I come across, and she has mental health issues, and it's okay. They are just not the mental health issues I can handle or I want to deal with until the day I die. That's all. I've met women who actually are. She even was honest with me. She's on medication. I think she said she was schizo. I believe she said she was. No, she said she was bipolar. That's what it was. But she's on. She was taking medications and other things of that nature. And I looked into what it was like being with one who was bipolar, and I just said, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. I couldn't take it because of the medications she said she was on. I think she said she was on like 5 or 6 different medications, and she only had 2 kids. But the fact is, she was old enough to possibly give us one more child. We never made it to commitment, to a committed level. But when she told me she was bipolar, I was like, man, I feel sorry for the kids. But I was like, no, she was 38. She's right there. She's right there at the line of reaching 40 to possibly never having any more kids. She told me she still could, but when she shared all that, and I had my personal experience with her, the way I told her was, listen, if you get a chance to ever get this under control, let me know. She hasn't reached out since. I'm not sure what she's trying to. I'm sure she's just lost just as much interest in me as I lost in her. I've moved on. I haven't heard from her since. But things like that, when you, a lot of you all who don't do the mental health checks, trust me, it's gonna save your ass a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of headache, a lot of pain that's going to matter. Because then what keeps happening is, and this is, I keep seeing this. I keep, I don't even hit the like button out that often when I see people post about this. Is man and woman get together, they share some things in common. That's fine, but then they force babies into this world that don't ask to be here. That's normal. But as soon as they do that, they try to get married and be a couple. I'm not sure why. I mean, I'm not into politics that much. All this mess that Don the Con keeps changing about child support, paying child support issues and filing taxes and doing whatever. I'm not into all that. But my whole point is they force a child into this world, then they get married for somewhat of the wrong reason. They may love each other, but they're getting married because they have this child together, or whatever the case is. And then the marriage don't work out, and you're back to square one. Another text. Hold on. See what they're talking about. Okay. That's one I'm not going to answer right now because that question is too rated R. That's about it. I did touch on it, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So, but yeah, forcing yourself into, I'm not saying force yourself, getting married just because the woman is pregnant with a child. I have learned that is not a way to go. It's just not. It might work for some, but you won't catch me doing all that mess. I'm not gonna say do I okay. I mean, again, there's no rule book. If that's what you all feel is going to work for you, go ahead. But I would not recommend it because it's, again, you're forcing a child here. They didn't ask to be here, and then you want to be with this man, this woman, just so you want to pay any child support, or just so you can say you're a husband, you're a dad, you're a mom or wife. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't. I mean, that's why that's why they got protection out here for a reason. And ladies, there are ways you can go ahead and prevent it. I'm not saying, I'm not saying the abortion is the way, because it's not for me. I don't recommend that at all. But at the same time, when you're out here and you are, let's say you do meet the right man, the right woman. Let's say you do give him or her the mental health check. I'm even getting going. I'm even holding myself accountable for this because I keep doing it every day. Bettering myself. Here's the question I have to ask a lot of men and women. You want this man, you want this woman, no problem. Is your ass prepared for him or her? That's my question. And if so, how do you know? How the hell do you know if you're prepared for him or her? If you want to call in, go ahead. 984-464-0688. Help me understand how you know you're ready for him or her. If your other half really came or ever crossed your path, because that right there in itself is one of the main killers in relationships. Now, outside of doing the mental health check and knowing who the hell you are as a human being, that is another factor in relationships. Like all this time that I've been single, I've been doing nothing but bettering myself. And I actually found a group of young ladies at the same gathering. It was just with a different group of young ladies, and I was like, man, I'm probably the best man, the best husband, I'm probably the best dad most of these fatherless kids will never have, and the best, husband, the best man most of these single women will never have. And I can say that because of all the education I've given myself, all the discipline I've given myself, all the ways I've been bettering myself since day one that I've been single for my last previous relationship. But it's like, hey, even me and the exes I had, we don't hate each other for nothing. One of them has been married for the second time. The other one has had a daughter and moved on in relationships. And the other, we each have just, I guess, grown, matured. And I still joke with like I did the other day on social media with one when her daughter was singing in the choir, and she posted it showed up on my timeline, and I was like, Nikki, what did your ass do, man? Go Back to the Future or something, man? What are you singing in the children's choir for? Because her daughter looks just like her. That's why I asked her if she traveled Back to the Future. But it was just, just a little joke. But yeah, me and all my exes were cool. Um, but the last one I had, I think she's in her second marriage. I don't think she has any kids still to this day. But that was definitely something I could sense that she didn't want any. Um, I mean, I could be mistaken, but I mean, she was a lot younger then. But anyways, the whole point is when the man or woman, I'm just being honest. If you guys have any questions, want to leave a comment, go ahead, leave your comment, because this relationships today, when I keep saying they're not what they used to be, a lot of us have to make adjustments. A lot of us got to make the adjustments to the point where, you know, I mean, the movies, out to eat, I mean, it's getting old. You got to update a little bit. I mean, sometimes you can even ask the person you're with. You know, like me, I told you, I ask women up front, are you simple, competitive, average, or romantic? I mean, I'll ask her up front. If I don't hear any of that come out of her while we sit here talking on the phone, I'll go ahead and ask the woman. And if she says competitive, I'll be like, all right, we can, I'll give her those options. I mean, we can, hit the gun range, we can hit the weight room, we can, or we can go see a football game, or do you have anything else in mind? And I'll give her the option. If she chooses the gun range or the weight room or a football game or whatever, I'm down with it. I'm down with it. And then that is when you go out again. Dating today is not what it used to be, because a lot of people today, men, fellas, I mean, and some women like this too. If you go to her house or you go to his house, they think, oh, I bought something for you, I did this for you, so I need some. That's today's time. It didn't used to be like that. It used to be the man would just walk you home or walk you to your door and leave. But these days, if he steps foot in her house, or she steps foot in his house, that means it's going down, and that's the difference. I mean, it picked up a lot during, I want to say, the mid '80s to early '90s, but these days it's almost like a must. And I'm gonna say this right here in closing in these next few minutes. Ladies, it's okay to see if your man can qualify to be. I mean, to see if you dating this man, and if this man that you're dating can possibly be, your future man, your future husband. Okay, but that don't mean he got to pay all your bills and buy you these $1,000 meals and do all this other crazy stuff just while you're dating. Now, if it's about maybe the second, if it's like I want to say the sixth to eighth date. I don't know. The numbers are crazy. But let's say you're serious about this man committing yourself, having an you know, exclusive relationship with this man. And you want to throw all these bills at him, or you want to test him to see if he can handle you as his woman. Okay, fine. You want to test him one or two times, fine. But ladies, that goes for all y'all out here talking about you want men to spend all this money on your bills and pay all this and that. Damn it, you are not his property yet. Until your ass is wearing his last name, you are not his property. A man will spend as much time, as much attention, as much money on who or what is his. Damn it, you are not his property yet. If you're working on it, then don't expect all your damn bills to be paid. Don't expect him to pay for every last thing while you're dating. Because even when you commit to him exclusively, your ass is still not wearing his last name. You may take it back a little further for you? Fine. Go back to a slave master. The slave master owned all the slaves because they wore his last name. They were considered back then, I'll never know why, but they were considered his property. So he invested food. He invested, everything it took to take care of what was considered to be his property. But let's get past those days, because we've been past those days for almost 100 years now. So let's think, well, not even quite that long. What am I saying? But for quite a while. So let's go to a husband, a wife, and a daughter. The father, you wear your father's last name. So you're not really his property, but you're his responsibility because you wear his last name. And a lot of times, even after a parent may kick their child out, you still wear your dad's last name. A lot of you women still will wear your dad's last name. So you're almost considered his property, but you're not really his property. You are his responsibility. Damn it. So a man, if you are not wearing his last name, stop trying to compare yourself to what you see Lisa Ray talk about all the damn time. She's she's a millionaire. She has I think she has a child. I think one or two. I don't even know like that. But don't be trying to act like her and sound like her because you ain't paid the price that she has. You don't live the way she does. Talking about you want to go on a vacation this worth $100,000. You don't even make half of that sometimes. But you want the man to take care of all these bills, all this rent, all this mortgage, all this makeup, all these nails, all this hair, all this bill. You want the man to pay again. Your father pays for all that because you wear your father's last name. It's okay for a man to, if he wants to pick up on it, let him volunteer to also. That's also going to show you a lot of man of what he says, how he feels, how much he respects you. Don't go and ask for it because, ladies, I'm gonna say this in closing. Ladies, a lot of y'all don't even do your homework. But a woman asking a man to pay for all her bills is the modern day of prostitution. It's the modern day way of prostitution of you want a man to pay for this, pay for that. Just like a prostitute would go ahead and give a man some service. You, ladies, will give a man some service sometimes too. Sometimes it's in bed, sometimes it's not. But you will sometimes in a way give him service because of the time frame that you spend with him. Just like a prostitute will give a man some time of hers. And she'll go and she'll go and give him service, and then she'll say, hey, pay this bill, pay that, pay. And this is way before what's it called? This is way before Cash App and all this other PayPal stuff came out. And what's it called? Zelle and Venmo, whatever it is. This is way before that came out. But she, the prostitute, would still want this man to pay for this, pay for that. Sometimes he would. Sometimes he's like, here's the cash, bye. Wanting the man to pay for all your bills, pay for all this and that is a modern day way of prostitution, man. And you guys don't want to be looked at like that. Well, damn it, stop acting like it. When you have an exclusive contract with a man of you and him only seeing each other, you're only with each other, maybe he can step up from paying 1 or 2 bills to pay maybe 3 or 4 more. But until you are wearing his last name, your ass should not be complaining one damn bit about this man don't pay this man don't pay that. It's really that simple. I'm not saying you're his property when you wear his last name, but trust me, it's a whole different level when you make it there. If you don't make it there, he don't make it there, then it was never meant to be. Take, like I said, dating, being committed for that long, take what you learn, damn it, and get the hell on somewhere. It's really that, both of y'all. It's really that simple. And I'm not saying men, I'm not saying you all have to do all this or that. Some men do. Some of y'all be carrying your social media posts. Y'all be taking them the wrong way. Y'all get one man who's in his living room or in the living room somewhere talking about his wife or ain't never paid a bill on his life or some mess like that. I mean, who cares? Once again, there's no manual book on how to live a relationship. And the couple I keep going to is Michelle and Barack Obama. Michelle and Barack Obama done show your asses. When you don't go by the rule book, you go what works for you all. Again, she was the breadwinner. That didn't stop him from being the head of the household, but she was the breadwinner for the first 10 years of their marriage. Once again, look at them now. Look at them now. They're still one of the strongest, happiest couple. You don't hear any rumors about either one having an affair or no crazy mess like that, but they did what the hell worked for them at the time. And even after she was a breadwinner for the first 10 years of the marriage, and he continued to be the head of the household, neither one lost lack of respect for the other. That's a story right there a lot of you I feel should study and look into. I'm sure his autobiography is somewhere at Barnes & Nobles or the public library. If not, I'm sure it's on Amazon somewhere. But that right there is what I feel a lot more you all should take in consideration and should try to live and learn from, is that those who don't live by the traditional way in life are normally the ones who stay married the longest. Even though I just read an article of Bill Gates, getting back with his wife. I don't know why they went through divorce in the first place. I never looked into him. I just heard, it's a mess going on between them. I don't know what it is. But anyway, that right there in itself is what I mean by Do what the hell works for you. Again, this is the advice I be giving people. Is not, again, I haven't been married yet, still looking forward to it. But even for the couples, the best advice I give y'all who are going through, the tough times in your relationship is, one, give each other some space and time away from each other to miss each other just a little bit. Go to therapy, go to counseling between time. But you both have to want it. Because I have friends who have been divorced, but there was always, when I asked them, if they doing this, they were all like, well, one of their spouses didn't want to go to therapy or didn't want to go to counseling. You both have to want it. You both have to want it. But even when I had Miss Short up here, and she was telling us how she'd been married for 40 plus years, but go back to learning how to go on a date by yourself and give your spouse the time they need to miss you a little bit or realize you're not there or something. She was giving her points that, was to help keep her and her husband married for, again, 40 years and counting. But I mean, like I've always said, man, we only got this one life to live. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and call that a night, because this is, again, Chaos Conversation. And we do appreciate y'all tuning in. If you do get a chance, just, again, hit the like button. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video if you care to. And then also, you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Facebook. We all over, man. We ain't going nowhere. We do appreciate all y'all tuning in. As y'all can tell, our guest did not have the chance to make it on here, but it's all right. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll see y'all next time, all right? But until then, peace.